I just spent like the last 30 minutes trying to set up some soft boxes so that the lighting in this room would be better, and I have no space. So. Hey, what's up my cabbages? It is myself, the Queen of Cabbages, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you my coming out story. I'm gonna break down the entire coming out process, for me at least, into 4 subdivisions, and they are coming out to myself, coming out to my family, coming out to my friends, and coming out on Facebook. Every time coming out was a different situation, but I'm gonna pick a few situations from each time that I came out in the different categories or subdivisions, and we're gonna talk about them. I'm also gonna do this in chronological order as best I can, so it probably won't be perfect, but I am gonna do my best, and the universe has saved some of the better stories in the chronological sequence for last, so make sure you stick to the end for some of the more LGBT stories. So the first thing I had to do before coming out to anyone else was come out to myself. And ironically, this was probably the hardest coming out I had to do. It was for myself. There was a lot of signs that I was gay before I came out or before I knew I was gay, so I probably should have known earlier, but I don't think I had all of the pieces together for quite a while. I spent a lot of time feeling like I was confused or incapable of love, or maybe even asexual, because I've tried all these different boys. None of them worked for me. I would say I was really confused mostly in high school, and in middle school I was just kind of like rolling with the punches and trying to fit in as best I can. And then probably around junior year I searched like how to know if you're gay. And pro tip, if you're searching how to know if you're gay, there's a good chance you're gay. And then one day I searched coming out on YouTube and found Allie Hill's coming out song and watched it. And I think I spent the rest of that night watching all of her videos. And by the end of the night, I don't think I was confused anymore. I don't think, I didn't think I was asexual anymore. I didn't have proof that I knew I was capable of love, but I did think that was probably a big turning point in me coming to terms with my sexuality. Now, I had talked to my mom about being confused in the past, and I've always been open with my mom. We have a really nice relationship. So when I knew I was gay and I came out to her, I wasn't afraid in any way to come out to her, and I don't think she was surprised in any way because I had mentioned being confused before. But I wasn't afraid to come out to anyone in my immediate family, really. I generally thought they would all accept me, and they did. So thank you, family. I came out to my grandma by taking her out to lunch, and we just were having some nice convo, and I was like, you know, I want to tell you something, I'm gay. And she was like, you're too pretty to be gay. And like, thank you, mammy, but I can be a pretty gay. My grandma and grandpa on the other side, I didn't really fear too much about telling my grandma, but I was a little hesitant to tell my grandpa because like older generations, I really just don't know how they're gonna react. But he was super accepting as well. He told me he still loved me and it wouldn't change anything. And then the rest of my family didn't care. I don't even know if I came out to them directly or they just like found out through the grapevine. Coming out to my friends was tragically uneventful. I don't remember any of their reactions, and I think that's a good thing because it likely means that nobody reacted too poorly. I was afraid to tell one friend because she is very Christian, and I did not know how she was gonna react. She's super woke. She didn't care. We're still great friends. So everything works out in the end in terms of that, in terms of my friends. Coming out on Facebook might have been the hardest out of all of these, besides coming out to myself, because up until this point, I got to come out to people who I pretty much knew were going to accept me, and I didn't have too much fear. But coming out on Facebook, that opened the door for so many more people to know, and a lot of people who I didn't know how they were going to react, and it was pretty nerve-wracking, I have to say. So I plan to come out January 1st, 2016, and for that entire week before me coming out, I was crafting my coming out post and trying to make it perfect. At this time, I was a big fan of Stevie Bobby, and she followed me on Twitter, and I had asked her in a DM to just read over my coming out post, give me some advice, some tips, anything to make it better, and she did. So grateful. That was a big moment in my life, and I had help from someone who I really trusted, and that was an amazing thing for me. I think it helped me have the courage and the confidence to actually come out in the first place, knowing that I had someone who was not only supporting me, but had the words to help me communicate my feelings better. So this is that post. So January 1st comes around, I post my coming out post on Facebook, and in the comments everyone's really accepting. Not super surprised. I thought there wouldn't be too many hate comments in my coming out post, but I thought that there would be some talk. Some talky talk. It wasn't until I started seeing people in real life that I started having the negative reactions I was expecting. I wrote a slam poem and it's on my channel. It's called I Grew Up a Christian, and if you can't tell by the title, I grew up a Christian. Not only did I grow up a Christian, I was pretty involved. In middle school, I went to Bible studies, I went to discipleships, I went to Jesus camps. When I was in high school, I was a youth group leader for the middle schoolers. I did a lot. I was very involved. So if it's not obvious, a lot of the people that I was friends with on Facebook were very Christian. So I was a little stressed about their reactions. After coming out, a few people from my Christian days saw me at work and said they'd pray for me. And I understand it's a very nice thing to say as a Christian person. As someone who's gay and ex-Christian, I don't appreciate it. I understand people who maybe are not Christian and who are gay. Maybe they will appreciate that, but from my personal perspective, it seems offensive. It is, in my mind, you saying that, oh, there is something wrong, I will pray so it gets easier, right? That's the idea. There was nothing wrong. I was happy. I was the best I had been in a very long time. I was also gifted a Bible. When you're an ex-Christian, when you are gay, I don't know what you're trying to do there. And then one of my coworkers saw my Facebook post and was like, oh, so you're a boy because you like girls. And I'm like, no, I actually am not. But then I did cut my hair a few months later, a few weeks later, I don't know. And she said, oh, so now you're a boy. And I'm like, girl, no, I'm still not a boy. And then she cut her hair, like a bob haircut, like shorter than mine, but like it didn't have like a boy hairstyle like I had. But boy, did I say she looked like a boy all the time for retribution. It felt so good. Almost all of these coming out stories happened within about 2 or 3 months of each other, right? And I was getting better at coming out. Each and every time I did it, it felt less scary to me, but I did realize that from coming out to coworkers and managers, that it's not the best to necessarily talk about at the workplace. So pro tip, don't tell your managers. I've had 2 completely creepy, disgusting managers at different jobs who asked me icky questions because I'm gay, and I just wouldn't recommend that someone goes through that because I didn't enjoy it. I have great managers now, but that doesn't mean that every manager's the same, you know what I mean? It was so fun to talk about these things in a way because I haven't thought about them for many years. Coming out has been a journey that came and went, you know? There's still people at my job who are finding out that I'm gay, and I'm like, how did you not know? Do you see what I wear? How many straight girls dress like a tomboy? Not too many, you know what I mean? So this video was chosen by a poll on my Twitter account, and I hope to do more of those polls to pick out my next videos. So if you want to have any say in the content I make, go follow my Twitter and make sure you are ready for the polls because the next video I post is probably going to be chosen by the polls. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll see. Okay, bye!